Alright. Welcome back to NFG Podcast with Jay the Usual. It's Jay the Usual with NFG Podcast here live. Cyocktober 2024. How the hell are you? Just getting back from recovering from a little disease-ish. Make sure to share, like, and comment. The more we grow, the more we show, the more you view, the more we do. There are a lot of people out there that are sick right now. Not a lot of people talking about it. I actually had to find out myself by trying to finish off my recovery by going back to the hospital. And come to find out that they've yet to learn anything from the past few years. The whole place was packed with people with masks. There were so many people that they had to stand up. And I'm pretty sure that was against a fire code because they were blocking exits. This was in Charlton Memorial Hospital, by the way. Saw the same exact thing 4 years ago. And then I started discussing this, or at least trying to, with some of the nurses, doctors, and people that worked there. And they were more apt to back away from me, even though I was 50 feet away in the parking lot, rather than even say a word to me. So, do with that as you will. With that being said, nothing's going to stop this show until, of course, the very end. And we're here trying to educate the masses. We're also trying to kick some asses by doing some awesome media work, creating a lot of different artwork, selling that artwork, and also building fundraisers to help things like the past few hurricanes where there was a lackluster government outreach in order to be able to help people on the state and federal level. So we're here to do our part wherever we can, but keep in mind we're also actively shadow banned for speaking the truth, and we always are fact checked. We allow ourselves to be fact checked, and if we're ever wrong, we admit it and we make a post about it. So that being said, for the past 5 or 6 years now, ever since around 2019, when everything started going wrong in this world, we ended up trying to help out a few people by letting them know that there was lockdowns coming. This was directly from the National Guard before it actually happened. I was the only source that had that. That was 3 weeks prior to the lockdowns. Nobody believed me, and even I didn't believe it, but I was warning people anyway. And then after that, I tried to warn people about the shortages that were coming, because they were going to rush the stores. Everybody was kind of aware of that, and that got us extra shadow banned, and all of a sudden we went from 1 million views an episode to 0. So, cheers. That being said, I was really hoping by now we would have been able to make a difference in some way. Not just to get my brand to grow or my voice out, but there are other people out there that they have fundraisers going on, they can't get help. There are bad things happening in the country and even outside of the country, and stuff with our money that's happening actively that we can't speak about regularly at all. And all we hear is the drumbeat in media of war, when nobody that's actually poor or lives in the fucking country and is at the whims of the powerful and the choices that they're making, they don't want war. They don't want any war. They don't want civil war. They don't want Ukraine war. They don't want any war. They want peace. They want to be able to work for their money, earn their living, and live their lives. And they want their laws to make sense, especially when it has to do with free speech and buying people's votes. There's a lot of different things that are going on right now that we're going to be discussing regularly on this show. And we also have a bunch of other different shows that we do if you want to just have fun, veg out, melt your mind. We have Cyocktober coming up. Well, technically it's starting now, I suppose. It still doesn't feel real to me. I'm so excited. I was taking this fire earlier and just edging myself by putting my nipple directly over it, but that's only if you're on patreon.com do you get to see that, you know what I mean? So check out our Patreon, if you want to see some weird shit like that and some behind the scenes stuff and more fun things. We also have the Terp Twerps podcast. We actively shoot Astrophotography, which is space photography, and if anybody's aware right now of the most popular things going on, Comet Citrussan, which is one of the greatest names ever, and there's active meteor showers. The solar maximum is here. So we've got active solar storms in Aurora, right over Fall River, Massachusetts, which, this is a daily occurrence now, and it's probably going to continue for the next year, which is incredible, but it's also not really being spoken a lot about because there are actually some inherent dangers that have to do with those solar storms. And there's not much rescuing that can happen when they happen. So we'll discuss that, things like the Carrington event in history and how they relate. We'll be talking a lot about the different activities that will be happening in the Fall River, Massachusetts area or any of the surrounding cities and towns that have to do directly with Halloween. And there isn't much that we're tied into yet. I would like to go to an event or two between 30th and 31st, maybe even the 1st, because I know sometimes there's some hangovers, but There is nothing scheduled yet, so we are available. Make sure to comment below and let us know what you'd like to see us go and check out and do. And you're always welcome. Any viewers, fans are always welcome to come to any of the live events that we go to meet us or just have fun. In the meantime, there were a few releases the past few weeks since I've been sick with sneezes, and holy Jesus, are they good? Let me tell you, we got this new show called Slideshows, which it's kind of like a combination. I use it for a bunch of different things. Our commercials, our intros, and it's actually a good presentation for people to see our photography. Jay the Usual Multimedia not only does videography, which you're watching now, but photography. That's right, I take a still picture, and it's a nice one. You're going to want it in your frame, in your brain, wherever the hell you're going to keep it. Trust me. Actually, you don't have to trust me. Watch Slideshows. That's right. So you go on YouTube or any one of our major apps, and we end up spreading the episodes of apps that will take the video. And if you're not into any of those major apps, we're actually going to be posting all of our videos and photos on our own website now, which we'll be releasing at the end of the week once I make sure everything is updated and crispy. As I said, I've been out sick for a while. This was actually supposed to happen 2 weeks ago for the preparation of Cyocktober, but I was unable to do so, and we do not have any backups right now. So, I appreciate everybody's patience. I really appreciate everybody hitting that share button, especially now because we missed so much time the past couple weeks. I really had a lot of different things I wanted to show people and do with people, especially some of my... there's one special in particular I call Light Rider, where I wear a costume, which I don't do year-round, on an electric skateboard and ride around to different locations and just show off and do all that fun stuff. And that is probably going to get cut. I'm probably not going to be able to do that. But there are a couple different things that we have leading up to Halloween that should maybe fill in some of those gaps, I'm hoping. And with the other live events that I'm hoping to maybe come across in my travels, maybe that'll be enough to make this Cyocktober something truly special. But if not, no fear. We're still releasing a whole bunch of different specials and episodes from our different shows. Not just Slideshow. We actually have the Bird Brain Part 2 special being released today. For those of you that saw the first one, it was more of a practice of voiceovers and professional Sony footage of local bird Audubon, I don't know which word you'd prefer, in the Fall River, Massachusetts area, tied together with music and my voiceovers. I actually used to be a professional voice actor for a very short time, roughly about a decade ago. So we ended up putting all that together. It was a little bit funny in my opinion. I giggled once or twice, not just for the acting, but we had woodpeckers, we had a red-tailed hawk, literally not 20 feet from where we are now, and it actually swooped at my head. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff like that. That was in the first special. The second special is actually a little bit more tied specifically to our production processes and how sharp of the footage that we can get, what that could present later on down the line with other presentations that we do. So it's really just really great looking footage of the local wildlife. I might drop in a little bit of information about them, but it's not going to be much, probably just the name. And I think there's also some music tied in with that that's now free use for us, so it's not something that we personally produce yet. However, it is something we're interested in doing. But that music that we are acquiring now is not something that is going to hit us with a license problem, which unfortunately was a large issue with becoming monetized, which means making money with the things that we do. So now everything that we shoot is all our own, or it's free license use, and we end up giving you that information in the description below for any video. And that will also be true for our website as well. I'll make sure to fix any issues that come along with that, because this is a whole brand new season, whole brand new business style. And of course, if there are any people out there in the Fall River, Massachusetts area, anywhere surrounding, or if they're just tied in digitally with us that are interested in topics we cover, you can always talk to us about any sort of commercial deals, or if we're running any fundraisers, if you have any questions about stuff like that. So, right here we got a little table fire going. It's quite nice. Picked it up at a local store that it's the type of place where you can buy things that are not like refurbished, but like they don't really sell them in a store anymore. They replaced it with something else. I don't want to give the name of the store because I not only used to work for them, but I also still shop there actively, so I don't want people buying all the cool stuff. Oh, God, what an asshole. So, it's actually quite a nice night. It's been oddly strange weather these past few days. Has been like really, really nice, which is perfect for me, especially being sick as I am. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit better now, but it makes it a lot easier to not only do things like this, but to actually enjoy what remaining time we have left to be outside in general before it starts getting really shitty out. It's been relatively dry, not a lot of rain, and I'm trying to see what else is there weather-wise that was really intriguing. Oh, of course, with the comet, that's actually something that they say is naked eye visible, which basically it does sound naughty and a little ticklish, but what it actually means is if you go out and you don't have binoculars, you don't have telescopes, you don't have fancy cameras, you don't have Jay the Usual on your back, you know, you'll be able to actually see this thing just by looking up. That's total bullshit. Don't believe that at all. What you should do, if you would like to just use your eyes, or your glasses or binoculars or whatever, would be to go to the darkest location that you possibly can, and there actually are maps that you can look up. I may even put a link or two for some people that have no direction in life to be able to find out where you can go in order to see these things. It's not just about the comet, by the way. It also has to do with this aurora borealis, the solar storms, all of these crazy things that come along with it, the Steves, the arcs, the plasma, all this crazy shit, including, and not leading up to yet, we will get into another episode, the UFOs. We got a bunch of different episodes coming up about that, and we're actually going to be going on a supernatural hunt at some point this week, I'm hoping. We're hunting actively for UFOs, and we're actually looking into paranormal stuff like ghosts, monsters, real monsters, but I'm not saying they're real, I'm saying that people are thinking they're real, they're actually seeing something else. And for those of you that don't know exactly what I mean, you can check out shows like Skinwalker Ranch, or there's a fellow YouTuber that I personally, I don't believe everything that his product likes to put out, but the people that he interviews are really interesting on this topic. Chris Lato. We've also been doing some deep sky photography with some of these space things that we do. The comet's a good example, but we're actually trying to capture, I believe, some planets this week, maybe Saturn and Jupiter. That is a... I'm trying to cut and edit this. I was just touching on something, I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the fact that the weather is making it easy for us to be able to capture images like that, as it requires telescopes and all that stuff.
There's a UFO right now.
It requires dark skies. That's a plane. But
that's a UFO.
I'm actually using a type of camera and lens right now, which is the Sony A7 III with a 50mm lens that allows you to go to 1.8 aperture, which basically means you can actually see the stars and see my face at the same exact time, which is not easy for the price point that I was able to pick this up at. So, and another thing that I like to do is teach people about photography, the tools of media creation, and I'm going to be running photography tours and classes this year like we were last year. Unfortunately, there weren't many people that were able to go to the shows that we did or the expos and demos, so we'll be probably trying to run a little bit more in-person stuff in shop at a bunch of different locations this year, because the digital stuff's just getting shadow banned to all hell. So let's see what else we can discuss at the moment. Oh, the moon. So the Hunter moon has been clearly visible for the past few weeks. And even in partial phase, it's one of the brightest moon phases that you'll have during the entire year, which is why they call it the Hunter moon. In fact, our ancestors, up to probably several hundred years back, I don't know how long the actual hunter part of the Hunter moon was part of the lore, but that's so that way people could hunt around this season even later into the evening than normal. And of course, the animals would be more active, eating during the night and feeling a little safer. Now that's a UFO.
There's a UFO right behind you.
Shit. Well, I missed that and I lost the cat. Dog, do not eat the fucking cat. It's a fucking dog. Okay. That was probably a plane, but it was moving pretty fast, and the lights kind of dimmed for no apparent fucking reason. But this happens relatively frequently whenever I record stuff, and actually that's also a facet of anybody that records UFOs, aliens, or supernatural things. They end up having that sort of activity happen frequently whenever they turn on the camera or whenever they speak about these things. And this is actually scientifically proven, not just in general, but actually recently And you can look into Lou Elizondo's house, where the green orbs were recently seen by high military officials, and of course this was seen by every other military official that worked with that particular gentleman. And for those of you that don't know who these people are, throughout the next couple of weeks, as we talk about different UFO and supernatural specials, we'll be talking about specific people like that. Those that were involved in the Roswell cover-up, which is now actively being stated by the government, the federal government, that it was real, that there were bodies, that there are ships, and most of the ships that they have, the whole ships that you will never hear about, they will never talk about, and they are reverse engineering them. It's the pieces of the broken ships that they're actually actively starting to show the public. Most of them have been bullshit, and actually one of them we ourselves debunked, and this actually hasn't really gone public too much, but the Dragonfire drone that has been used in Ukraine, and the footage was only recently shown publicly, I think it was about 3 weeks ago now. We reshared the post, but a lot of media ended up doing that as well. What they didn't state openly was that what they used to shoot that flame out of the drone is what was found as melted metal bismuth in the, I believe it was the Montana area, but wherever the area was, it was in the United States, easily found. I'll even leave it in the comments below. And what I would imagine was happening was they were testing this before they ended up putting it into war. And they didn't want to state that because there's probably some environmental damage that happened, because you can't be just spitting molten metal onto the ground. And this was actually near people as well. So the people actually recovered it as it was still molten, and ended up getting it scientifically checked out and all this stuff, and they couldn't figure out what it was, but it all seemed to be made out of stuff that we were very easily capable of making. So most people said it was what they call metal slag, a byproduct of something made in an industrial setting. What it actually was the remnants of the ammo of the Dragonfire drone. So do with that as you will. But please give us credit when you do share that information. I appreciate it. A hashtag will do. Oh no, we ran out of fuels. Let's juice this baby back up. Juice it up. Alright, next just drop the all the links and the stuff we're going to do tomorrow, and then do the Walking Dead review after that.
That light on so the dog will take off.
God. Take a break.
I'm not drinking my soda.
What the hell is that? That's either the Milky Way or somebody's happy to see me. What the fuck is that? I don't know, that's pretty fucking cool. Alright. Looks like I picked a good background. Alright, so. Back from our commercial break. And you saw one of our slideshow specials. And all of this is done usually an hour or two before we end up actually sharing the podcast. Unless, of course, it's live, which happens right in front of you. So while we're back with the NFG Podcast with Jay, the usual fuckers and fuckheads, I do salute you. Did you think I forgot, you dirty pigeons? Remember, I already seen you in that trash bag trying to get the Burger King. I seen it, and all that was left was ketchup and pickles. Always looking for crumbs. Ah, jeez. But yeah, we have a good time here, Every time you guys hit the share button, I get a half mast. Then it goes back down, and I end up with priapism. But that's neither here nor there. We have a whole bunch of different things that are going to be happening over the course of the next couple weeks, months, years, eons. Not Elon. I dropped the L because I don't back losers that steal information from people with AIs. All of you Zuckerbergs and you assholes, you CIAs, bunch of dicks, these guys. It's like, give us a coupon back at least for Pizza Hut or something. No. Instead, it's like, oh, well, now you can just make a new fake picture on your Facebook of a koi fish floating around the pond. I don't give a shit. How the hell's that helping me? Is that koi fish going to come over here and bring me that Pizza Hut? No. There isn't even a Pizza Hut locally to even enjoy anymore. They were crushed by the pandemic. Everybody wanted to go to that buffet, but nobody wanted to pay and stay, you know? So we have a bunch of different space-based stuff that we're going to be recording over the next couple of weeks and months, but we're here to fill that space in your noggin with a bunch of cool images while we're doing that. And a lot of it's going to be holiday-based, because we have specials running this year on photographs, and even, I can do short clips, I can do holiday commercials for companies, a bunch of different stuff, but what I really want to do is help out individuals and families. So what this week's special is a $10 image that I would imagine almost anybody could afford for a holiday photo, and I allow you to do whatever you want with it, whatever size print you want, whatever. I don't pay for the print, you do. That's totally separate from me. I take the image and I create the image, and I can even use AI to do stuff that you can't afford. So that's how we end up doing things at Jay the Usual Multimedia. I'm here to help out everybody. Next month in November, we have a very special time of year called Fucksgiving, where it's the one time of year I'm actually allowed to give a fuck contractually on No Fucks Given. And I'd like to not only run fundraisers, but after that I'd like to start giving a percentage of all the sales that we end up making for the next year to some sort of large fundraiser of our choosing. But it's going to be several fundraisers, and we're going to be giving them off a fundraiser that we are trying to create ourselves, so that way we can manage the process, so we don't have to deal with all the red tape. Because, we're trying to get help to people as quickly as possible. I'm not trying to hand money back and forth to people to get help to neighbors right down the road that are homeless and shit. We're not, especially with winter coming, there's really no time for that bullshit. And unfortunately that happens far more often than you think. So, all these things are plans that we're doing. I also don't plan to actually be able to sell or create anything that's going to be able to get out because of the shadow banning and because of the elections. So, that being said, you may not even hear this. This may not, and nobody may even fucking, beyond anybody that's around right now, may not hear this. That's how sick this is, but I'm actually actively going to be going to local religious centers and city centers where there are events to tell people in person what it is that we'll be doing. We'll also be doing live speeches. We'll be doing some podcasts. The podcasts are digital, so yet again, that's one of those things that isn't something I will be leaning into when I'm in person at events. I will, mainly be trying to connect with the people in real life. Unfortunately, the majority of our society has decided to fork over most of their soul really to AI, and unfortunately, because of that, the power of persuasion has really been locked into the hands of the powerful, unless of course you're meeting face to face. And even then you have to break through that hypnosis that they're getting from the phone and from their TVs and computers at home, just to be able to have a conversation about important topics. But that's what I'm going to have to do, and that's what I will be doing. So you will be seeing me out there, so long as I'm healthy. And with Fucksgiving coming, I'd like everybody to try to save just a little bit to be able to try to help out somebody else, even if it's not through us. I really don't care about that too much. So long as somebody's being helped, you can share it in the comments below to inspire other people to do the same. And maybe even information about other fundraisers and ways that we can help. We have an active community that have interest in these things, otherwise I wouldn't discuss them. We also have the offshore wind project that we'll be doing some interviews for. I tried to get a few boat rides out, and actually there were some fishermen that said they wanted to meet. However, a lot of the app groups that control where that information goes and how to set up those meetings are run by communists that do not like the fact, not only that people are even against the wind farm in the first place, but the fact that they're even trying to discuss why it's happening, why all these things are being implemented, and why the discussion about the returns that you get from such an investment are starting to dwindle. And in fact, the hit to natural wildlife and even our own farmlands for oysters and things like that, shellfish, and replenishables in the fish species of our local areas are all being affected. So, I mean, even if it's something that's like a rare animal that you don't want to see disappear from the earth or whatever the hell, everything is being affected by this, but no one's allowed to discuss it in any of the digital public formats. So, that's another thing that I'll be discussing publicly once we pick a place where everybody can meet up. For those of you that are part of those groups that do end up getting this message, if you're interested, please comment and let me know exactly where everybody is most easily able to meet, whether it be at the docks, New Bedford, Fall River, at the battleship. I don't care. We will meet somewhere and we will discuss this and we will get the public involved, digital or not. We also have, trying to see if there's anything more we should discuss before we start tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the comment episode. We already discussed that. Alright, so yeah, I think that should be it for now. Okay, we'll cut here. And sorry, beginning. Alright, so thanks for coming to our first night of the Cyocktober specials for 2024. Definitely appreciate everybody coming here and everybody waiting for these specials. It's definitely something I was excited about, and I'm still very excited about, even though we may not be able to do a lot of the different fun costume stuff that I personally get all giddy for. But as long as everybody else is having fun and we're able to help with that, I'm cool with it. And November will definitely be far more fun when I'm far more healthy. Make sure to share, like, and comment. The more we grow, the more we show, the more we view, the more we do. Here's a third salute for you fuckers and fuckettes. You think I forgot? Come on, man. We discussed this. I know that every time you get some of these lab-borne sicknesses that are getting out there, that it actually affects your brain and your ability to decide on things, and you know the way that you absorb information. And that's intentional, of course. You know, they don't just let something out of a lab and then let the whole world deal with it on accident. They do that shit on purpose. And you know, we're not here to obfuscate the truth. We're here to share it. So anything that we've said in the podcast or any future episodes that is end up finding wrong, remember, fact check that shit. Let us know so we can shoot another episode to you to fix that problem. I think that's it for now. Make sure to check out the Terp Twerps podcast, Jay the Usual Photography, Fall River Photography, and all those hashtags related to any of those topics in any of your major apps, or just wait for, what's today, Wednesday? Just wait for Sunday and we'll have that new website up and running for you guys, so you never have to be connected to any of these data stealing nasty ass apps anymore. You can literally be free. Jay the Usual out for now, baby. Hope you like the hat. We just got it back.